Hey, what's up? I'm the Zim. This is the Zim video. This is my rideshare experience video series where I talk about my rideshare experience driving for Lyft. I'm an artist musician from Seattle, Washington, and I use Lyft as my primary source of income for now, and who knows how long. I've made these videos to share that with you. So what I normally do is talk about how much I made. I'll do that first. I do my star rating, and then I go into some points this week. I'm going to go into my average ride payment. I'm going to break down, do some math with you. And I also wanted to say, I think I titled this video, Who Should Drive for Lyft? Some of the thoughts about who should drive for rideshare, Lyft, Uber, whatever. The ideal type of person. Maybe you're looking into doing this job, so it would be a good fit for you. I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll break down a little bit more about making what it takes to make the express drive bonus. So if you're thinking about driving for Lyft and you want to use an express drive car, a rental through Lyft, what my intuition is on how much time you'll be driving to make it cost effective, and then I'm recording on another show, which I'll talk about in a second as well. So let's get started. I wanted to thank you as well for being a part of this conversation with me. I've got more people are interacting with these videos and finding them, so thank you a lot. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on anything I talk about. I'd love to hear about it. And remember, this is not advice necessarily. This is just my experience. This is what's come through me, and this is how I've processed it. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully you find it valuable. So here we go. Here's how much I made this week. I'm a little bit. I'm really bummed that I didn't make $900. $899.94 is getting deposited into my account this week. I wanted to make $1,000. I was really trying to make $1,000. There was a combination of events that happened that prevented me from making $1,000. One of which was that Sunday was actually kind of slow. Here's the daily breakdown. So Sunday was a little bit slower for me than I was anticipating, as well as it was. I was pretty burned. I was struggling to make it through. I've been working a lot, as you know, as you've been watching these videos. I've been working a lot, and what I mentioned last week, I'm trying to take more breaks. Today's Monday. I'm recording this on Monday, and I decided to take Monday off because I just need to take more time off, and Comic-Con's coming up this weekend, so I'm hoping that I'll take Monday and Tuesday off this week and then hit Comic-Con, and hopefully Comic-Con will be busy. And I'm gonna add that to my list of things, my definition of busy, because a lot of people ask me if it's been busy out there, and I want to talk to people what I think is busy versus not busy. So I'll add that later. So that's my daily breakdown. I did good. I was pacing pretty darn well to make $1,000 for the week. Then Sunday hit, and it just kind of all went out of whack for the reasons I just mentioned. And it was Pride Fest this weekend in San Diego, and Pride really did nothing to increase demand for drivers. There was no huge incentives. It did not affect my personal experience with the average rate of rides. There was a little bit. I did get a little bit higher average of primetime rides, but they weren't like, I didn't get a primetime ride. Like, I didn't get a unicorn ride. I didn't get like a prime time that took me up to Carlsbad, so I got $100 in one ride or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. The prime times I got were like, they went from $3 to $6 kind of prime time rides is what I got. So that's kind of what happened there. One of the major things, I'm gonna put back up the first slide of what I made, and in there you can see the referral bonus. So one of my referrals is basically completed his ability to be a referral, get a referral bonus this last week, and he didn't make the full amount, but he added to what I made. I think it's almost $100, another $100. So that's a big difference. That's awesome. So it's part of the game. I've seen people out there talking about don't let more drivers get on the road. It's harder, blah blah, all this kind of stuff, and yeah, you're probably right, but at the same time, if you make that part of your business as a rideshare driver, like trying to get more, it really changes the game for me. It's been awesome to have a referral on my on as part of my thing to help me make more money, and then you get a bonus as well. I'll talk about a referral bonus more at the end of the video, but it's just part of this job now. It's like, I would say don't complain about it. Just realize that's what it is, and if you want to make this a full-time thing and make better money at it, then consider promoting yourself and your referral codes to your passengers and whoever else may be interested. So that's just some thoughts around that. I'll put up the slide of the circles for the bonus, the referral bonus, or not referral bonus, the rental bonus. So I made my bonus. I made it Sunday morning. I think I finally finished my 115 rides. I completed the peak time rides much earlier on Saturday sometimes, but I completed my anytime rides on Sunday morning. So that was that, and then I believe it was Sunday morning, and then here's the hourly breakdown of all the rides, and you can just kind of get a sense of how much I drove and when I drove to complete this whole thing. So there's that. So we'll leave it at that. If you have any questions about that for me, I don't think I completed one thought. It was just that going back to what I made, $899.94. I was this close, obviously, to making $900. I didn't make it because of the rental bonus. Basically, it still cost me $25, $24 or something for the rental bonus. But anyways, I don't know. We'll just leave it. If you have any questions for me, feel free to put it in the comments about how much I made and all that good stuff. I'm going to start rolling the star ratings. So of course, last week I posted a video about, you know, what you need to do to keep your rating up and all this stuff. And my rating plummeted, and I have no idea why this week. I mean, I didn't get any negative reviews. Like, nobody said why they rated me low in terms of like the review part of the rating. But I did get more ratings that went low. I had my first like bitch out experience of a driver that was on Lyft line didn't realize made a mistake and put on Lyft line, and I was taking her to work, and there was a convention going on downtown, and I just kept on picking up people, and she just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" You know, like, started swearing at me because she was gonna be late for work. I don't think she was late for work, but she felt like she was gonna be late for work, and I was like, "I'm sorry, this is just my job. This is my job. It's like, you have your job, I have my job." And it was a little bit awkward and weird, and she had me talk to her boss on the phone. I was like, "Hey, she picked Lyft line. I'm taking her there as fast as I can. This is just how it works." And I don't know, it was just kind of, but it made me uncomfortable and kind of, I don't know, it was weird. And I rated her low. I gave her 3 stars so I wouldn't be paired with her again, and I'm sure she gave me a low rating. So that might have been part of why it drops low. And I don't know, I've said this before, but I wish you could see the math. Like, how does it work? I think the math, it would make sense of the math. So you have 100 rated rides, you have 5 stars each ride, so you have up to 500 basically points, and then each ride that you get less than 5 stars would be that much less in points, and then you just divide that by 500, right? And that would be your rating, right? Am I right? Anyways, that's how I think it might work. But so there's that. Anyways, my rating went down to a 4.86. I don't have my bulk reviews because I'm recording this on Monday and that comes out on Tuesday. But anyways, so that's that. That's my star rating. A little lower than I'm liking, but I'm still rocking the 4.9 on the app. And I did cross 2,000 drives this last week. That was pretty cool. So if you have any questions about my rating, you want to know more about it, feel free to ask again in the comments, and I'll be happy to talk to you more if there's anything I'm leaving out that you'd like to know. So let's get into some of the ideas that came up this week for me. First thing, the average ride payment I wanted to break down. I'm just going to put up some numbers right there. This is my average. So I went to my bank, like what my accounting program I use, and pulled up a report of everything that was deposited in my account. So this is not like ride payments. This is what I actually made. The amount I actually made is $13,918.28 has been deposited in my account through last week's pay period. And then, so that divided by 2,034 rides that I've done so far means that I made off of each ride $6.84. So my average ride that I make is $6.84. That means the average, I guess that means the average ride payment amount is $9.12. So just some facts, something to consider, some math. I think I did that right. I think that makes sense. Since February, I've been driving since February, and I've driven pretty much every week since. A couple weeks I haven't, but regardless, that's how many, the average of 2,000 rides basically, and what the average ride is pretty good. It's a pretty good chunk of time and chunk of rides to look at. So it's $6.84 is how much I make as a driver as my average ride. So I think that's fairly interesting information. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I did something wrong or if there's something else you consider. I mean, so keep this in mind as well. So that is not counting maintenance, car maintenance. That's not counting gas money. I make that, and then I have to divide that amount into other things. My particular situation is I was half-time driving my own car, and then half-time basically, or maybe a little less, I don't know, basically half of the time now I've been driving the rental car through Lyft, so I don't pay for maintenance, and my insurance costs have gone way down. I still carry my own, I carry like non-driver insurance now, just to keep that going, so when I rent cars and different things, it's not a problem, but that has nothing to do with the Lyft rental. So Lyft covers their insurance. I just carry mine, but anyways, I'm getting long-winded there. But so just to keep in mind, these numbers I'm giving you they're not the complete picture. They're just how much you're making, how much you're bringing in, how much you'll make off of each ride, in a sense, is something to consider. So when you're factoring in like information, when you're thinking about this idea, if you're thinking about becoming a driver or anything like that, or you just want to know that's what you're making in. And what I found, the average rides, it's about 2 to 2.5 rides per hour. So if you multiply that 684 by however many hours you want to work, by 2 or 2.5 rides per hour, somewhere in that range, that's kind of what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at for how much you're going to be making on and off. So consider that. Who should drive for Lyft? Here, this isn't going to be a complete list, but there's a couple ideas, a couple people that I think this job is great for. The first thing is, I believe this job is great for people, well, I wrote a little list here. Doesn't want a boss, people who don't want a boss, people that want a flexible schedule, has more interest in making money than doing leisure stuff. Like, you just want to make money. You don't care about partying, you don't care about other things, you don't need as much playtime. You just want to make money. So this is a great job for you. Who's willing to work and you have to be somebody that's willing to work, and you can't be lazy in this job, because it takes a long time to do it. There's a wide berth of like time. You can't expect to make any money within 3 hours. You have to put in like 8 to 10 hours per day to make any real money out of it. So that's something to be considered. But couple people that might find this job advantageous for them, and one idea is like performers, like musicians like myself, or comedians like the person that you see in the Lyft tutorial videos, that travel, need to go out of town, need a flexible schedule, and don't always want to have to be telling their boss they can't work, or they need a shift covered, or all this kind of stuff. If you're a gigging musician and you want to go on tour here and there or whatever, this is a great job for you, because you can always come back to it. It's always there. I believe it's perfect. But it also means you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to dedicate the time to it. So it means you're working a lot on this job, and then a lot on your craft as well. So you're working a lot. So that your downtime is fewer. There's less downtime. So you have to weigh that. What's important to you and what's not important to you. Is it easier for you to always ask off for something and do that route, or is it easier and better for you to not have to worry about a boss, but just realize you're working more? That's one of those things to consider. Another person, like the other person that this job is great for, is a person who only wants to work on weekends, and maybe like a student or something like that, because all the money is on the weekends. And depending on what your lifestyle is like, if you only need say, you know, $500 to $700 a week can get you by, then and you can pretty much make that on the weekends. I'd say if you put in 10 to 12 hours Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each day, you can make anywhere from like $200 to $250 within those time frames on the weekends, especially in the summer and here in San Diego for sure. And I'm sure it's similar in other markets as well. If you just have weekends available and you want to make $500 to $700 more per weekend, that's money before gas and before all that stuff. But that's how much you'd make. Then that's something you should consider. If your overhead's pretty low, maybe you're staying at a place where you don't pay your overhead, you don't pay a lot for overhead, and you just need to make about $500 to $700 a week, then it'd be a great thing for you to consider as well. I don't think I did a great job. I'll probably revisit the idea of who this job is good for down the line, but running out of time a little bit, and I want to keep moving on. But if feel free to ask me any questions about my thoughts around who I think this job would be good for. If you have questions about your situation and you want to bounce it off me, I'd love to just go back with you and see if you want to hear my thoughts on it. So let me know, post in the comments, and I'll be happy to talk to you. So making the express drive bonus, this is kind of like, I didn't do the math on this either, but this is my intuition talking based on the last 2 weeks, two kind of full weeks I've done this and made the bonus, which was, I didn't make it last week, but the week before last, I made the bonus and kind of got a gauge of what it takes, and it feels like it takes 4 10-hour days. At least 4 10-hour days plus like another half a day or something like that. So 40 hours, I'd say 50 hours would be a good average. If you put in 50 hours a week, you should be able to make the bonus. And I believe that could probably relate to any market, because I think Lyft does pretty good at looking at the market they're in and making the requirements for that market, because it changes. My requirements for the bonus is different than other markets. Like the San Diego market is different than other markets. So, and I think they do a pretty good job of looking at all that. So that's what it feels like to me, because you can't make it on weekends alone. You just can't, like 30 rides, like in San Diego, 30 rides a day is pretty much the most you can get in. And that's only 90 rides if you only do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you need to fill in another, 115 rides is the amount of rides you need. So you need to fill in that somewhere in the week. So that's that 4th day somewhere in the week. And then a little bit of extra just in case it's slow and all that stuff. So 4 10-hour days, 10 to 12, 10, I'll just say 10, roughly 10-hour days, is something I think is a reasonable expectation for making the driver the rental bonus. Because you can make, on the weekends, you can make the peak time drives easy. It's the anytime drives that get tricky with only working on the weekends. So you need to fill it in somewhere else, because the weekends is where Lyft wants you to work. They want you to work on the weekends more, because that's where all the peak time drives are. And you should be, like, if you're considering this job as a full-time job, you should be considering, I need to do it on weekends. Is that just your personal weekend has to be sometime during the week, like Monday and Tuesday. Mine this week is Monday and Tuesday. So that's something considered. What do you think? Do you think I'm on point or off point? I don't know. Let me know. I think that's what it makes sense to me. I'm just going to wrap it up with 2 ideas. One is what the definition of busy. The definition, well, I don't know. I'm going to go over 20 minutes, it looks like, because I only have a minute left. So, my definition of what it means to be busy is I get a lot of passengers ask me, is it busy today? And to me, busy is when you get a lot of rides added to your queue, when you drop off somebody and you're picking up somebody right away. It's like very short amount of time between each ride. That to me is what I say is busy. There's an average, like the last weekend in San Diego felt very average to me. Didn't feel busy at all. It just felt average. It felt like a normal weekend. Because it would be like 5 to 20 minutes between rides rather than ride after ride. So that's how I define busy, is that I'm just ride after ride after ride, and I have to actually turn the app off to get a break rather than having kind of this space between rides. So that's how I personally define busy. And then, so the last thing I'll mention, in terms of the things that come up this last week is I got invited to be on another show. It's called the Pick Me Up at 5 show, and it's Tuesday night. I'm going to be recording it. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to publish. It's about rideshare experience, and I'll put the link to the show below so you can check it out if you want. But then hopefully maybe next week, I don't know when it airs, but when it airs, I'll be sure to tell you about it, because they're going to interview me. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to play out. They're going to interview me or how it's going to look. But I'm excited to be a part of it. She reached out to me. I forget the name of the person, but I was reached out to because of these videos. They liked what I was creating, and so they wanted to talk to me more about my thoughts on my rideshare experience. So I'm excited. I think that's pretty cool. So I'll let you know how it goes. And then also, if you found this video because you want to become a Lyft driver and you're trying to figure out just some more information about it, well, first of all, feel free to ask me any questions you want. Second of all, use my referral code ZIM200 and we both get a bonus. No matter what market you're in, put that in there and it'll tell you what your bonus is in that market, and I get a bonus as well, so it helps us both out. So super rad if you did that. And yeah, and again, one more time, just be sure to ask me any questions you may have about my experience. I'd be happy to share what it's been like for me. And until next time, I'll see you later. All right, peace.